Dawn Richard is best known as a founding member of Danity Kane. She's also a former member of Diddy Dirty Money. Now, Dawn is a successful independent artist in the electronic music space, an entrepreneur, and so much more. This morning, Dawn joins us to talk about her music career and so much more. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
It is so good to see you.
Yes.
You know, it's so funny because when I think of you and how far you've come, I mean, I think back to the good old days, too, right? Danity Kane.
Yes.
How is it being a part of that legacy? Because I should mention, you all have like a record in the Guinness World Record book.
Yeah, we're the only girl group to have 2 consecutive #1s back to back.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's crazy because when we were released, it was Outkast, Christina Aguilera one year. It was like crazy, massive legacy artist, and we were just trying to figure it out, and we had such a great fan base. We still do.
How does that contribute to, would you say, your success now?
I think being a New Orleans girl, being that survivor, I always knew music was the end game for me. It was never about fame. It was always about how do I do this art thing and make it stick.
Yeah.
And it's worked for me, and I'm able to take all the lessons that I've learned on television, reality television.
Before, like, everybody was in on
when
reality.
When it wasn't scripted and you were thrown under major buses. That survival has been beautiful for me, and I've been able to have longevity in it, and I'm very grateful that I'm still able to do what I love to do.
You know, you and I were talking before we came on about New Orleans. My parents lived in Gretna for a bit,
yeah,
so I was there for a while.
Yeah.
Talk about having that foundation of just art and music that's so rich.
It's in my veins. Music for New Orleans is breath, it's air. And people have watched my journey all the way through it. So, like, they saw me go through Katrina, they saw on the reality television experience that I had, that New Orleans has always been kind of on my shoulders with me the whole way. And as an independent artist and a musician now, seeing how labels have changed, tech has changed music, I've managed to kind of still do what I love to do. And I think that's totally because of that kind of art and that soul that New Orleans has always had in me. It's never going to leave.
What would you say, speaking of being an independent artist, I mean, that's no joke. There's a lot of pros, but there are challenges. What have been the challenges for you?
It's interesting. When I started 10 years ago, it was not popular to be independent. Now to be independent is
That's what they write about in the rap songs, right?
You're like with a label claiming you're independent.
Right.
And I get it, but when I came up, I was a black girl in electronic and dance music trying to push people to see that house and dance was it came from us. It came from black culture, and how that was stripped from us. And celebrating, you know, DC music, Detroit, bounce music from New Orleans. That was important to me. And then 10 years ago, nobody was giving me any love. And now, 10 years later, you see an emergence of dance culture in the black community. And I'm very happy for what's to come. And that Afrofuturism, that art that I've been talking about since the beginning is now truly being celebrated, which is why you saw me performing at the Smithsonian.
I wanted to ask about that because, man, I was on your Instagram, kind of creeping, looking at all your posts.
Stalking.
And folks were raving about your performance at the museum. You were killing it. And it's funny because you said, I didn't picture myself performing at museums, but it turns out to be the perfect venue, I think.
Yeah, I started branching out. I've never really cared about boxes and boundaries, especially as a black woman. They tend to put us in one. They say you're black, so you're going to do R&B music, and that's it. When we have been the Donna Summers, the Crystal Waters, they've been, we span everything. And so it was important to me to share my Afrofuturism to the world. And so the Smithsonian asked the African American Museum asked me to perform for the Afrofuturism exhibit, and it has been an honor to do it. It was beautiful. We tore the house down. We were able to show the beauty in us and why we've been for years, decades in this space. And people like Sun Ra, people like Janelle Monáe, people like myself who have been pushing this narrative for a very long time.
Y'all, she puts on a really good show. I mean, if you've been with Danity Kane and following Dawn for a while, you know what's up. But you're missing out if you haven't checked her out. How can folks support you?
Yeah, I'm on tour right now. My album is out. Second Line is out right now. You can go to Bandcamp, iTunes, anywhere. Dawn Richard on all social medias. But most importantly, it's a great time for our culture within these spaces that we have been limited from. So make sure you come check me out and see all the things I'm doing. I'm performing at the African American Museum in North Carolina to celebrate Ruth Carter, who is the costume designer for Wakanda. With Sun Ra and Kamasi Washington.
Well, I would say we wish you much success, but I don't think you need it. You've been doing so well. Much luck, I should say, because you've been doing so well so far.
Thank you.
And we're so happy for you.
Thank you for having me. It's an honor. I love it.
Thank you. Homa, we'll send it over to you.